The Speaker of this House always tells members to vote our district. Today, I vote as an act of conscience in defense of my district. I vote for the babies who left for school 8 years ago and never returned home, and the teachers who died trying to protect them.
Emotional reaction from Congresswoman Johanna Hayes after defending Sandy Hook families on the House floor earlier this month. Hayes fought to have Marjorie Taylor Greene, a freshman Republican from Georgia, removed from her committees. Greene was stripped of those positions because of a number of claims she made, including that the Sandy Hook massacre was a hoax. Congresswoman Hayes represents CT5, the 5th District, which includes Newtown, and she is joining us now. Congresswoman Hayes, good to see you here on the program.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
This was so tough for you to talk about this. Why did it really just break you down inside to hear this?
It was so personal for me. First of all, I thought about all of the families. I had heard from the families earlier in the week when the committee assignments were made. But even for all of the educators who are in the classroom trying to assure children that it's safe, I just thought this was an ultimate betrayal, and I struggled with it because I recognized the voters in Georgia sent Representative Greene to Congress, but this committee assignment was not appropriate.
And Taylor Greene is now off those committees. I want to ask you, you have a new assignment. Tell us about it and how it will impact people here in Connecticut.
Well, I'm very excited. I was just named as the chairwoman of the subcommittee on nutrition oversight and departmental operations, and that subcommittee controls all of the programs with food security, with oversight of the Department of Agriculture. And here in Connecticut, we have about 15% of families who are food insecure, with 23% of those being children. This program will really help. We saw long lines, unbelievable long lines for food pantries, for people who were looking for just food during this pandemic. We'll address that.
How common is daily hunger in your district and across Connecticut?
Oh, it's incredibly common. The numbers I just gave you are from my district, 23% of children. Wow. The fact that in March we couldn't close schools until we figured out how we were going to feed children, and we saw people in every part of the state, not just urban centers, but suburban affluent communities lining up for food, should tell us that we have a problem.
It's Black History Month. You are a trailblazer. I know people like my daughter in middle school, they're taught about you because you made history. How does it feel to be a trailblazer?
I'm not trying to be a trailblazer.
No, but you're a role model. People look up to you and they say, if Johanna Hayes can do it, now it's encouraging me to do it.
I am just so incredibly humbled, and what I've tried to do is to be as transparent as possible to show people that there are different ways of being and doing, that whatever your story involves, whatever you bring to the table is good enough, and someone else needs to hear that. And I think for far too long we have this idea of what our leaders should be or how they should, act or look, and I want to just break that model and say everybody is a leader.
What else do you want to accomplish in Washington this year?
Just bringing some relief to people in every community. We have lived through this pandemic. I watched the beginning of this segment, and people are hurting. We have to bring relief back to people. We have to restore dignity and just a moral compass in our communities. Help families just be able to get up every day and go to work and support themselves. And I really want to have an impact in this Congress.
You and I are both COVID-19 survivors. We both tested positive. We didn't have serious cases, thankfully. My only drawback now is I'm maybe a little bit more tired. How about you? What are you experiencing?
Always tired, but I consider myself blessed. Breathing was a difficult issue, but I know many people who did not survive. It's not a club that anyone wants to be in, so I really take it very seriously and know that we have to follow the science and make sure that, we combat this pandemic.
Congresswoman Johanna Hayes, representing the 5th District here in our state. It's so great to see her in the program. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.